Hello and welcome to IABM TV. Today I'm joined by Clay McCreery, Chief Revenue Officer at Concurrent. Clay, welcome to IABM TV.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can you start by telling us about Concurrent?
Sure. So Concurrent is we're a content delivery company. We build CDNs for operators, both private CDNs if you own your own network, or hybrid CDNs if you want to make use of public network.
Okay, and so what are you doing here at IBC?
So the big drive this year is meeting with broadcasters and content owners and working with them on ways they can reduce the costs of their public CDNs. Their success, one of the byproducts is their cost in public CDNs is just skyrocketing.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is work with them where we can augment their networks with owned facilities and owned pieces of the network to reduce those costs and sort of keep them at bay, make their business model work a little bit better.
And so how are you helping them to reduce these costs for CDNs?
Sure. So many of these broadcasters have fiber networks to their towers and to other areas, and instead of being able to actually push the content over that network, they've just chosen initially to launch in a public CDN.
Right.
And so we'll help them pull the content that they actually store out of the cloud and or use a hybrid approach to storing the most relevant content themselves and not have to pay recurring costs for that. And then also, whenever they develop a hotspot in a city or with an operator where a lot of content is going over the network, we'll actually put one of their own they would be able to own the edge cache at that site and reduce the cost across the network a lot.
Because it must be very important to them as more content is made available, their costs obviously go so much higher, don't they?
So, you know, the move from SD to HD was tough, but, you know, there were codecs there. Now the move to 4K. Of course, we have H.265 that helps with that a little bit, but still more data is going over. And as you look to the Olympics in Tokyo, which will be broadcast in 8K, there isn't a new codec for that yet.
Right.
And so the costs could quadruple to you know, if you try to do what we did with the World Cup, which was simulcast that over OTT networks, over CDNs all over the world, you do that with the Olympics, it'll be 4 times the amount of traffic, and it's going to need to be managed.
So as we get closer to 2020, more and more people are going to be looking to manage that cost.
For sure, for sure.
So what do you think is coming up in the future then for Concurrent? Where do you see the company going?
Well, so we were recently acquired by a company called Vecima. They're a Canadian company, and where our two solutions meet is we have CDNs, and of course the storage, transcoding, packaging, and out to the edge, and we're fundamentally just trying to help operators, broadcasters, content owners manage the content as efficiently as possible. What Vecima builds is the access network. So if you're a cable provider, a telco provider, as DOCSIS 3.1 is launching, which is talked about a lot here, we actually build a remote PHY node. So what this is going to give us the ability to do is take the caching and where the edge cache is and move it even further out into the network. It'll improve the latency of video over IP. It'll improve the ABR capabilities. There's just so many fundamental improvements we'll get by able to push the content deeper in. So it's we've been in business for 20 years, been publicly traded, we're debt free, have cash in the bank, and have just continued to reinvent as the networks have reinvented, as we've needed to do new things, and this is just this next evolution as the way content's going. We're trying to enable all of our customers to take advantage.
So you said they've been going for 20 years. Would you think it's fair to say that this is one of the most exciting times now where the opportunities that are available for people?
What's incredible for Concurrent is for my entire career, for 20 years, every year I've had less customers to do business with because of all the consolidation that's gone on. This is the first time where we're having new customers and a lot of new customers come open. The advent of these public CDNs and OTT is just enabling so much content generation and so many different networks, and it's it's going to be a great ride. The next 5 or
Yep.
10 years, I don't think anybody really knows how it's all going to
Yeah,
work
it's
out.
hard to spot.
But we're really trying to enable it and make as much content available all over the world as we can.
Okay, well, Clay, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I really appreciate the time. Thanks.
You can find out more about all of these products and services at concurrent.com.